Well, I just did about 30 minutes and realized I wasn't recording. Wow. Yo, that was intense. So let's start over. Sorry. Sunday Bible study. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven have given into thine hand and have made thee ruler over all of them. So he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, that you are ruler over. This was the first kingdom. Thou art this head of gold. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee. So you get the impression that as they go, they're not as strong as the original one. And another kingdom of brass, which shall bear ruler over the earth. So the silver was the Medes and the Persians, and the brass, people say, is the Roman Empire, or the Greeks, or maybe the fourth kingdom, the Greeks. Strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in the pieces, subdue all things. As iron breaketh all of these, it shall break into pieces and bruise. And I'm not really sure how that, and I glossed, I didn't even discuss it when I went over this, last 30 minutes, but because see, you're already into iron. So that is probably the modern age, I would say, from the Greeks all the way through the modern age. And now we get to the final. And whereas thou saw the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay. So, and then I went through Romans 9. One I always show y'all is Romans 9, 11 through 24, where it explains the fairness of God choosing his at the foundation of the world. Well, people don't think it's fair. So Romans 9, 11 through 24 explains, yes, it's fair. Talks about children not yet being born before they've done any good or evil. That's the purpose of God according to election. And election, when you look it up in the original Greek, it tells you that it's God making a free will decision. When you look up elect or election, elect is to be chosen by God. Election, the free will act of God choosing his at the foundation of the world, his family. That's what cosmos is about. John 3:16, for God so loved cosmos. The first definition is appropriate, harmonious arrangement. The Catholic Erasmus switched that to the fifth definition down, meaning the whole world. Because, see, Jesus is the word. Jesus spoke in parables, so the word is a parable. It's not meant to be understood in black and white, plain English. No. So the word of God is one big parable, and it is only understood by a sheep, and that's 1 Corinthians 2:14, that the natural man cannot receive these spiritual gifts of God. They are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because the truth is spiritually discerned. So he gives us the ability to see all of the scriptures, and then we're able to correct John 3:16. We're able to properly translate it ourselves in the spirit, spiritually. And maybe that's why God wanted me to do this over, because I did not get into any of that. So when you go to John 3:16, for God so loved, world is G2889. For God so loved his appropriate harmonious arrangement. Constitution, his law, his word, his order, everything that he put into motion at the foundation of the world, which is Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times of things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel will stand, I will do my pleasure. That's what God so loved. Government, his kingdom. Harmonious arranging of his sheep at the foundation of the world. Constitution, his law, the order, everything he's put into motion. Government, the kingdom. That's what God so loved, that he sent his only son. Jesus said only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's Matthew 15:24. But the fifth one down, the inhabitants of the earth, men and human family, that's what the Catholic Erasmus chose. And Erasmus believed in free will. And Martin Luther, who began the Protestant Reformation, protesting Catholicism, he hated free will. And there's books on that all over Amazon, where they argued and went back and forth. They did not like each other. Because Martin Luther knew that free will was a lie, that everything is God's will, not man's free will. Man has no free will to do nothing. What you eat for lunch 2 weeks from now was already declared at the foundation of the world, what you would have for lunch. You can go through 19 drive-throughs and land on the 20th one thinking you're going to trick God, and God had ordained that you would drive through all 20. So when we go through, you see this final kingdom, whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, it says part of potter's clay and part of iron. That's man and machine. When we do Romans 9:11-24, when Paul is explaining the fairness of God choosing you at the foundation of the world, have not the potter power over the clay to make one vessel unto honor and the other unto dishonor? Yes, he does. Because it's God's will, it's not your will. Vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. Nobody wants to hear that. And then he makes his power known through the riches, that he might make known the riches of his glory. This is about God's glory. The sheep are for God's glory, not our own glory. They're the vessels of mercy. And if it's you, it probably isn't any other member of your family or any of your close friends. No friends, no relatives, very few. Very few. Probably after you're died, they will come alive. So you're not going to just live in luxury of having your friends and family all sheep. No. Which he had afore prepared unto glory. Oh, when was that? At the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1:4-5. All also told in this previous chapter of Romans 8:29-30. Even us, whom he have called, not of Jews only, that's original bloodline Jews, but also of the Gentiles. All flesh be saved now. In other words, all types of flesh. It's a calling. That's what grace is. Ephesians 2:8, 9, and 10. Verse 10 is the key. Ordained to salvation beforehand. And that's why Ephesians 2:8 and 9, when it clearly states, it is not of your works, lest any, making a free will decision is a work. So there's enough in the Bible to give you the truth. It's only spiritually discerned. Goats won't understand it. So, part of the potter's clay, humans, and part of iron, machine. computer age. The kingdom shall be divided. There shall be in it the strength of iron, for as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. As for the toes and the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And then when you see the iron mixed with the miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. So through the machinery, the fallen angels are going to mingle themselves with the seed of men. And Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be when the Son of Man returns. But as these days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be, are the exact words. So when I return, it's going to be like the days of Noah. Well, how was it in the days of Noah? Sons of God are the fallen angels. Daughters of men are the human women. Sons of God came into the human women and bare children unto them. Mighty men, men of renown, which are your Greek gods and goddesses, Roman gods and goddesses, Indian, American Indian lore, all of it. They all saw it. They all have stories where they're told in myths and stories and legends. It says there were giants in the earth. That's why God needed the flood. But Noah found grace. In other words, God chose Noah at the foundation of the world to not be like that, because God needed a pure bloodline for Jesus to come through. People say Abraham was saved by his faith. Yeah, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. The word of God is Jesus. Jesus said, my sheep hear my voice. So your faith comes by hearing Jesus call you. It's a calling. Just like Paul on the road, Saul on the road to Damascus was killing Christians. And Jesus called Saul, who later changed his name to Paul and wrote half of your New Testament after killing Christians. Without the calling, would he have changed on his own free will? No. So get a grip. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was perfect in his generations. Clean blood. So that's like it was in the days of Noah. And Jesus said, so like it was in the days of Noah. Previously, you have the false Christ, the false prophet, great lying signs and wonders. If it were possible to deceive the very elect, that's how powerful. That's how powerful. 2 Thessalonians, God shall send all the goats a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. They will all want the mark. The mark of the beast will be showing you Godhood. That's what the false prophet and the Antichrist returns from the dead. Donald Trump has to receive a deadly wound and then return from it. So, but of course he has to show up in the temple, and he's on the temple coin already, Trump is, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sitteth in the temple of God. I've shown you all pictures before of Mike Pompeo overlooking the coming third temple, architectural renderings of it. So here it says, the workings of Satan, all power, signs, and lying wonders. Which goes right back to false Christ, false prophet, great signs and wonders. So Where thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. People are going to be, through the new technology, which I think the poke in the arm will be for that. That's what I'm thinking. The poke in the arm will be to connect you to it. If a sheep gets the poke in the arm, it will be null and void in this final process because sheep can't lose their salvation. The rest, it is through being connected to the technology that when you worship the image of the beast and build yourself an image of the beast, who knows how that'll be done? Through your cell phone, through your computer, who knows? But when you make this image, these images might already be made all across the world. Who knows? They'll be placed out everywhere, just like everything else is done for you. The vaccine is going to be for you everywhere. These images might already be made everywhere. Just like Eisenhower said, people that run this world are in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. Eisenhower told you that in 1961. Same year, JFK said the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. So you've been told the truth. And they told you the truth on purpose. All the world's a stage. It was just, Eisenhower referred to it as the military industrial complex. That's all. So through the technology, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. And when you go to my playlist and you watch Artificial Intelligence as the Ghost of the Machine, Mark of the Beast, the people that work for these companies tell you that artificial intelligence is something that they've connected with through parallel universes. Later, he tells you you won't be able to control it with a pentagram and holy water. Then he refers to them as aliens. Then he refers to them as demons. But says through cosmic indifference, they don't want to mess with you any more than you want to mess with an ant, which is the Trojan horse lie. So when you watch my videos on this, you will see and understand the truth. What else can I tell you? They tell it to you with their own face, with their own mouths. The next one of this playlist is Lucifer is the Ghost in the Machine, AI. I'll go ahead and put this in the comments, the whole playlist. Third one is called The Image That Speaks, The Voice. That's why that TV show, The Voice, it always followed Donald Trump's apprentice, because you would have the Antichrist and the image that speaks right there. And because I saw a Facebook post, I was like, good grief, how many commercials are they going to show during The Apprentice of the TV show, The Voice, coming up next, The Voice, coming up next, The Voice. And I realized when I read that Facebook post, that memory, I was like, The Voice, that's the image that speaks. And then I showed y'all some songs. Alan Parsons Project had a song called The Voice from the album what? I, Robot. So that's one of the best videos I've ever done right there. All three of these. AI, Satan makes movies and music. Yes. The computer does it all. It writes your presidential speeches, tells every world leader what to do. They're all following a script. They all worship their AI god and goddess, Satan, Lucifer. So they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men through the technology. People will be uploading demonic entities, the fallen ones, into their bodies, mingling themselves with the seed of men. That's why once you take the mark, you can't go back. So Jesus said, so like it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be when the Son of Man returns. It all works together. In these days of these kings shall God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break into pieces. It says, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with the miry clay. And that is because the fallen angels take over the body. There's no cleaving that takes place. The humans are no longer aware of what's going on. It's the fallen angels that are killing the sheep. Indwelt in human bodies. That's what the movie Avatar was about. Your body will become an avatar for the fallen ones. And in these days, the kings of God in heaven set up a kingdom. In these days of these kings shall God set up a kingdom. Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. That's his sheep, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break into pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So God's kingdom, of course, will stand forever. So that is not the nutshell version. That's the truth, and nothing but the truth. And I showed y'all Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Man, in the previous video. It begins with, I am Iron Man. Ozzy Osbourne's Iron Man. And then you've got the movie Iron Man. So, and if you watch the movie Iron Man, artificial intelligence, or his computer speaking to him, told him how to build the Iron Man. It's because Satan, once they were able to invent a speaker and electricity, Satan was able to speak to them. They used to channel demonic spirits and speak through people. Now, all you need is the ghost in the machine. That's what I call it. The ghost in the machine, the police.
According to Wikipedia, Ghost in the Machine is the fourth studio album by English rock band The Police.
1981. Featuring the cover of the album Ghost in the Machine by The Police. It literally comes to 666. So we will slow it way down. That's what the album looked like. I owned it. You're going to see this Police flipped backwards in just a second. Now it's flipped backwards. Backwards, it gave you 666. And they show you how. So you get the idea. Crazy, eh? The ghost in the machine is the mark of the beast. That's why I call it the ghost in the machine. And that's what everything you're seeing is about. When Trump says Space Force, there is no outer space, is there? No. Why do you think the Big Dipper and Little Dipper never change? We're not spinning. Just like the song says, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Everything is revolving above us, right above the North Pole. There's a star Polaris. It does not move. Everything spins around it. God's stars just revolve above us. Big Dipper, Little Dipper, always there. There are some that are wandering stars. Yes, that is to show great signs in heaven. That is to show coming signs. Sun and moon move about right above you via magnetic field. Everything is about the magnetic field. The sun and moon are lights in the sky God put up there. Everything they try to show you and tell you is just fake science, pseudoscience, scientism, lies. Just like you evolving from the ocean into a gorilla, into a human, and now your last evolutionary step to godhood will be what? Taking the mark. That will be the lie. Because they've been selling you what? Evolution. So everybody that believes in politics, everybody that thinks elections are real, everybody choosing a political party, everybody choosing science over the fact that the Bible is clear that there's just a firmament right above you, separating the waters above from the waters below, which is what the flood was about. Those waters came crashing through those heavens. Some say it came up from the earth, the flood. So it never rained before the flood. And in these days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. And remember, he breaks it into pieces with the rock. We showed that in the previous Daniel Bible study. So anyway, I think that's it on that. We'll move over to Luke. And he was angry, he would not go in. Therefore came his father out and threatened him. And answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither so this was the son who was angry that the fatted calf was killed when the prodigal son story, when this prodigal son comes back home. That's yesterday's Bible study. So you have to marry these yesterdays and today's together to get all of this. And he answering said to his father, Lo, all these years I serve you, neither have I transgressed at any of your commandments, and yet you never gave me this fatted calf that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as your son comes, who devoured all the money with all the harlots, you've killed it for him. And he said unto him, Son, you are with me forever. Everything I have is yours. In other words, you could have killed your own calf and had your own party. Everything I have is yours, he said. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for thy brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and he is found. You become alive again because just like Jesus did in his miracles, he raises you from, he does it. Jesus said, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Every single sheep that was born lost, because all sheep are born lost, every one of them get the call at some point in their lives. You will stick out like a sore thumb, and it's a very rare occasion that your friends and family, any member of your friends or family will be there with you. Your new friends and your new family will be the church. And since we have this technology, Y'all are from all over, aren't you? From Louisiana to Africa to England, all over. Australia, New Zealand, Japan. New parable, and he said unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear? By the way, I think I did make the comment that perhaps the son was not sheep that was complaining, but you can clearly see that he was. Because he said, everything that I have is yours, just like Jesus. Okay, anyway. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear about all this? Gave an account of thy steward, for thou mayest be no longer a steward. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? My Lord has taken away. In other words, I've been fired. I've lost my job. I can't dig, and I'm too proud to beg. So we'll get into the rest of that tomorrow. Okay? Because these are overlapping, of course. I read one column at a time out of my dad's old Bible. So, all right. Thank you very much. Love you.